Good day, dear viewers. Happy Children's Day to you all. As we celebrate this momentous occasion, remember our brothers and sisters who do not have the opportunity to celebrate amongst us. History relates the major cause to be the existence of child labor, a condition where children my age, sometimes even lesser, are made to work jobs to support their families, carry out manually difficult tasks fit for an adult, and for several other reasons deny the rights to the children. From time immemorial, child labor has plagued our society in a vast array of sectors. It is such a problem that its compartments appear inexhaustible and never ending. This is a predicament worthy of address for the future of my generation and our children to come depend on it. We implore you to please stick around and listen to our presentation titled The Menace of Child Labor, Abuse and Harassment in Our Society.
The International Labour Organization defines child labor as work that is mentally, physically, socially, or morally harmful to children and interferes with their schooling board, depriving them of the opportunity to attend school, obliging them to leave school prematurely, or requiring them to attempt to combine school attendance with excessively long and heavy work. When child labor is left to thrive, a ripple effect of problems emerge. One of the major contenders is an inevitable plague called child abuse. The Year Encyclopedia of Everyday Law says thus: child abuse occurs when a parent or caregiver physically, emotionally, or sexually maltreats or neglects a child, resulting in the physical, emotional, or sexual harm or exploitation, or in extreme cases, the death of a child.
The causes of child labor and how it results to abuse. The causes of child labor includes poverty. Poverty is one of the underlying causes of child labor, as it drives other aspects of child labor. Lack of education. Lack of education or access to education is another cause of poverty. When families do not understand the dangers of child labor and how these impact on the health, safety, well-being and future of their child, they are more likely to send their children to work to support the family. Large family size. This is another cause which is driven by lack of access to education. Large family size leads to inability to care and educate the children, which forces the children to work in order to support the family. And sometimes, children from large families are given up to live with other families where they are exposed to child abuse through child labor and other forms of child exploitation. Thank you.
The following are the possible solutions to ending child labor and abuse. There should be a constitutional law against child labor. In order to stop child labor, strict laws should be brought into play with consequences attached to defaulters. It is not enough to keep law but attach consequences to defaulters of the law. Government should tackle the problem of poverty. Government should create a minimum family income. If we can help these families come out of poverty and get a steady source of income, more and more children will be put out of child labor.
Child labor and child abuse. The prevention of a child of his or her childhood that leads to physical, mental, social, and sexual exploitation is child labor. Therefore, there is a thin line between child labor and child abuse. Child labor is a form of child abuse. It is also a prerequisite to child abuse. When a child is sent out to any form of labor, it exposes the child to abuse, like physical abuse, where the child is beaten, emotional abuse, where the child is threatened and criticized, and also sexual abuse, where the child is forced into unwanted sexual activities or rape. Child abuse can also lead to kidnapping and other social vices.
The rights and responsibilities of a child are enshrined in Part 2, Section 3 to 20 of the Child's Rights Act 2003. These rights include right to freedom from discrimination, Section 10, right to dignity of a child, Section 11, right to leisure, recreation and cultural activities, Section 12, right to health and health services, Section 13, right to parental care, protection and maintenance, Section 14, rights of a child to free, compulsory and universal primary education, etc., Section 15, rights of a child in need of special protection measures, Section 16, rights of the unborn child to protection against harm, Section 17.
Having heard the causes and possible solutions to child labor, We advise the entire public to participate in the fight against child labor, even when the child is not yours. Also, several states, including Federal Capital Territory (FCT), have adopted the CRA, Child Rights Act. Some states in Nigeria are yet to domesticate the Child Rights Act, and it is important that they do so without further delay to ensure the protection of children in our dear state. We at El-Shaddai International School wish you a happy Children's Day.
Happy